Back in 2010, there were entire sections of Chicago that were just essentially abandoned. There were vast tracts that just turned into a wasteland. They were good properties, and they deserved to have good families in them. But because of the housing collapse, the real estate collapse, there were just an enormous amount of properties that had been foreclosed on or abandoned, and banks weren't funding them. And we had properties that were attracting crime, that were dragging down values of the neighborhood around them, but they were still really good neighborhoods and really good areas. And so I started going to the foreclosure auctions in Chicago, and it was always the same 12 guys there. There were just these enormous amounts of properties that were available, and I was going to put in, webcams and bring in local contractors and local artisans and rebuild these properties, reclaim these properties, let the community buy back their own neighborhoods, and put it all online and actually make it into a lucrative investment. It's public solicitation of securities. It hasn't been legal for 80 years. But I tend to be a bit stubborn, so I look for a way to make it legal. And that's when I started contacting the offices of Congressman McHenry and Congressman Dole, who were co-sponsoring the crowdfunding exemptions to the 2012 Jobs Act. And I lit up the phones to try and get other legislators to sign on to this act. The 2012 Jobs Act did pass, and it allowed us to, for the first time in 80 years, publicly solicit for securities and be very transparent, to take our deals and go out on the internet and say, this is what we have, this is why it's a good opportunity, and this is why you should be a part of it. We had the choice very early on to go after both equity investments or debt investments, and we chose to go with what we consider to be the largest market, the most lucrative market, the most secure market, and quite simply the easiest market to bridge between the old world of traditional financing and this new online crowdfunding e-commerce world, and that's debt. So what we're doing here at Patch of Land is being able to bring those projects, an online e-commerce system, and make it available to just about everybody. My name is Jason Fritton, and we are building wealth and growing communities.